Hello, it's MattyFBaby coming at you with a little bit of Boulder Cup action in the Mirror Cup, and today we're going to be going over the new big bad mud boy in Swampert, and we're also going to be going over the biggest threat to all the mud boys in Torterra. So let's get talking about these two real quick, then let's look at some battles. If you're new, I hope that you do me a favor and subscribe, and you'll get more PvP action coming at you. Let's go. Alright, so Swampert is a water and mud type Pokemon. That's why it's one of the mud boys. And it just got Hydro Cannon. You know this. That's not breaking news to you, but it makes it such a better Pokemon. It's such a hard-hitting move, Hydro Cannon. Let's go look at some of its key matchups according to PvPoke. It is the number 3 rated Pokemon overall. You're going to want Mud Shot, obviously. It's the best. It's one of the best moves in the game for energy gain, and we love energy gain. So Mud Shot, of course. Then you want Hydro Cannon as your first move, and if you can't afford a 10,000 Stardust unlock for a second move, well, go fix that. Go get that dust, and yeah, you gotta have Earthquake. Get Earthquake as that second move. It gets there really quick. So yeah, those are the moveset: Mud Shot, Hydro Cannon, Earthquake. Alright, so the key matchups. This is according to PvPoke. It's going to do really well against Skarmory, who's a big bad bird. It only has a 503 battle rating, but in my experience, in my battles last night, it does really well against the Skarmory. It gets to the Hydro Cannons about 2.5 seconds faster than Skarmory gets to its Sky Attack. So we also do well against Bronzong, Jirachi, the Wishmaker, and then Lucario and Gallade. Even though Gallade has the Leaf Blade, we're just going to do a really high battle score. That's the highest for its key matchups. And Swampert just does really well against so many Pokemon in the meta. It's just Hydro Cannon hits so many things so hard. So yeah, it's kind of unstoppable feeling at times. So our top counters, there's one big bad thing that we have to worry about, and it's Torterra. We're gonna be talking about Torterra after this just briefly, and Torterra is the only Razor Leaf user. If there's another one out there, please forgive me, but I haven't seen it. But yeah, so Razor Leaf from Torterra has a 2x weakness. That is our only weakness for the Mud Boys, is grass, but they like get shredded by it. And yeah, so Torterra does really well against us. Has a battle score of 954. Credilli also does well against us. We lose to Quagsire, and then Lilip and Metacham. Metacham is the game breaker for the Boulder Cup. He's the Gardevoir of the Nightmare Cup in regards to Boulder. He has like an insane win percentage. It's kind of crazy. He might have broke the Boulder Cup too. Alright, so let's go look at the move activation time. Alright, so a Mud Shot going into a Hydro Cannon. It is going to take 5 fast moves and 5.5 seconds to get over to Hydro Cannon, so that's really fast. And now for Mud Shot to get into Earthquake, it is going to take 8 fast moves in 8.5 seconds. So we can almost get to Earthquake we can get to Earthquake a half a second slower than Skarmory gets to his Sky Attacks. That's kind of crazy for how strong Earthquake is, not against Skarmory, but like in general, that's really fast to get to Earthquake. So let's look at Swampert's win percentage in 1v1 shield scenarios against the entire meta. You see over here, it has an 82.7 win percentage. It's 86 wins, 13 losses, and 5 draws. So it does really well in the 1v1 shield scenario, which is what we like to look at. Alright, so now let's look at Torterra. It's going to be a grass and ground type Pokemon. You want Razor Leaf as the fast move, and then you want a Stone Edge as the first charge move, and the Earthquake as the second. But it doesn't really matter because Razor Leaf is the big bad draw. It does really well against a lot of Pokemon in general, except for things like Skarmory, and it's just the combination of being resisted by the steel and the flying type of Skarmory. It gets you in the same situation you were in for Tempest, where if somebody got the switch advantage and you brought in your Tropius and they could switch in their Skarmory after, they can just sit there and farm you. And that's kind of the problem that Torterra really has to look out for. That's his number 1 threat, in my opinion. Is just if you lose the switch advantage with the Torterra and someone brings in that Skarmory, it's like they can just farm you and take you down on fast moves, and then they'll have at least 2 sky attacks ready to go, and it's just a really bad situation. But it's just, in my opinion, a great way to scare off people from using a mud boy like a Quagsire or a Swampert. So that's what I love about Torterra. PvPoke has it ranked number 9 overall, and let's go ahead and look at its key matchups. It's going to be Swampert 954, Whiscash 839, Quagsire 946. That's really good battle ratings. He just wrecks the floor with those guys, and that's why I like the idea of having him on your team of 6, just to maybe try and scare people off from using Swampert. I kind of feel like the core 3 line for this meta is going to end up being Medicham, Skarmory, and Swampert, but maybe you can try to throw a wrench in someone's plan by bringing a Torterra to where maybe they won't bring their Swampert. But yeah, that's like the main draw for me with Torterra, is just trying to scare off the Mud Boys. And it just, Razor Leaf damage just does so well overall, besides a couple of matchups in the meta. But we also have a good matchup against Gallade and Claydol. Claydol is ground type, and wants no part of that. Alright, so the top counters, you have Wormadam, you have Skarmory at the 808 battle rating. We have Fortress, who has a huge resistance to the Razor Leaf, as does Caesar, but Caesar's a little squishier. And then we have a Alolan Sandslash. And we look at our overall win percentage against the meta. It's going to have a 1v1 shield scenario win rate of 74%. It has 77 wins, 25 losses, and 2 draws. And if you look over at the 2 shield scenario, we can actually take down a Medicham with 2 shields. But yeah, it's not going to be your best counter for Medicham. And like I said, I really believe that the core line for Boulder Cup, if you do a Boulder 2.0, it's probably going to be in Skarmory, Medicham, Swampert on like a lot of lines of 3s. But yeah, let's go look at some battles now. Alright, so for the first match, we have a Medicham versus a Skarmory lead. Yeah, our power-up punches do hurt the Skarmory, even though we take super effective damage from its Air Slash. Yeah, it's Air Slash fast move. We still get to our power-up punches faster, and even though it's neutral damage because flying resists fighting, you know, the steel is weak to fighting, so even though it's neutral, we do a lot of damage to it. So after taking one of our power-up punches, he switches in to the Medicham, and he didn't mean to block there, or made a mistake blocking there, he had mentioned. And yeah, so that's going to be pretty costly for this match. It's going to be really, you know, it could be a game changer. Alright, so we have an incoming or outgoing Ice Punch, and I'm considering switching over to the Psychic for this matchup alone. The Psychic charge move. Haven't looked as far into Medicham for this cup, and yeah, but I'm gonna do that eventually. I just want to start with Swampert and Torterra because, you know, those are cool Pokemon. And yeah, Swampert's just got this new toy and Hydro Cannon to play with. But anyways, we're able to get rid of both his shields. We now have both of our shields gone, and yeah, we bring in our Swampert to try to finish off his Medicham. He hits us with a power-up punch. It does some pretty good damage, and then we're able to down him on fast moves. And he's gonna have, I believe, the Skarmory coming back in. Let's look and see who there's, or a Swampert of his own. Yeah, he's got the Swampert of his own, that was it. And we're gonna hit him with our Hydro Cannon. We surf that wave, and then we switch real quick, because it does good damage, and we think that we can finish him off. And yeah, we do finish him off with the Razor Leafs. It's like 2 Razor Leafs, so you just see how fast, it's just like 2 Razor Leafs, and he's like gone. But our Torterra tanks that Sky Attack that he had, the energy built up for his first time out with this Skarmory, and then we bring back in our Swampert to get the Hydro Cannon off. Oh, he got the switch, my bad, we didn't finish him off. But yeah, we melted his health to where he just had like the teeny tiniest bit. So yeah, now we have a Steelix versus our Swampert, and yeah, Steelix wants no part of that Hydro Cannon. He's going to switch after that. We elect to stay in. We had the switch ready, but we don't really have you know, any other better Skarmory counters. So we just stick in with this. And yeah, our 2 other Pokemon don't want to see Skarmory as much. This is a better matchup. So we just Hydro Cannon, and we get to Hydro Cannon Town. We're going to shield because we want to get rid of this Skarmory. So we want to keep our Swampert up and running the best that we can. And yeah, we're able to down him, and we're tied in shields, and we have a little bit of energy going in. In comes his Swampert, and yeah, Swampert just takes so much damage from his own Hydro Cannon. As a water and ground type, you know, it's neutral damage, and it's just gonna hurt, man. It hurts. But yeah, we bring in our Torterra, and we're able to just this time we do down the Swampert immediately. Last time he barely got him out, and yeah, so he's gonna send off 2 crunches at us, and our Torterra just is gonna be able to finish off this Steelix. Like I said, he just does such great neutral damage, and the Steel type resists, but the ground type the ground type takes super effective damage, so is vulnerable. That's the word I was looking for. The ground type is vulnerable, so we're able to finish him on our Razor Leafs, and that's what's so great about Razor Leafers is that they do so well in neutral matchups. Alright, so we have Swampert on Swampert. The Swampert on Swampert crime is probably going to be pretty prevalent in this cup. We make the call to go ahead and switch in our Torterra, and you see even Torterra has the grass and ground. And here's a matchup we don't want. We're able to just let him farm. So that's the scary thing about switching first into a Torterra, is that they can bring in a Skarmory and just do the farming strat on your Torterra. Luckily we were almost dead, so we didn't get the farm for a whole Torterra's health span and just sit there and farm enough for 2 sky attacks, but he did get to farm a little bit right there on us. So just be careful about running Torterra. Maybe even just use it as bench pressure to try to get people not to run their Swampert or their Mud Boy. And if not, if you do bring it on, just be very careful. Maybe lead with it so that you can try to navigate around it. Now we got Metacham versus Metacham, and I should have used a shield somewhere along the way. And this is my first matchups with Boulder since Boulder came out. Last night I did, I don't know, 8 or 9 matchups. I did 3 series against 3 different people, and yeah, so we make a mistake in this game of just hold on to our shields too long. And sometimes it happens to me at the very beginning. The earlier on in cup training is when a lot of times that I hold on to my shields for too long. And this is a scenario where I kind of feel like I don't want Ice Punch. I kind of want Psychic for this Metacham on Metacham, because if we send off a Psychic that first time when he doesn't shield, that's gonna do massive damage to the Metacham as opposed to an Ice Punch or a Power Up Punch. So yeah, he's going to end up taking this one pretty easily. The Swampert's going to come in after I finally down the Metacham with I have 0 health left, and he's just gonna down us on his mud shots real quick and easy. So yeah, Primo's going to take this one from me, and he's still going to have a shield left. And I forgot I do get off 1 Power Up Punch, and I guess we do, we get kind of close to getting him down. But yeah, he's almost down. But here we go against my guy Styx, and we got the good lead here. We get our switch ready to go. He brings in the Metacham, and I'm like, I really don't have that great of a Metacham counter because I brought a Magnezone to try to scare off Skarmory, because it's one of the best counters of Skarmory. But I feel like people are just gonna be running Skarmory, Metacham, and Swampert. I feel like it's just going to be tons of mirror matches of those exact lines against each other, just from my first experiences with this meta. But yeah, but you can see we do really well. We burn 1 shield, and we're able to take down his Metacham. So it does do pretty well against Metacham if you can get into the Metacham matchup there. So we make a mistake. Later we shield when we don't really need to with our Swampert. But yeah, you can see Swampert just. Don't let your own Swampert take a Hydro Cannon. It's gonna just murk ourselves. And we're gonna do 2 Hydro Cannons, and this is where I'm saying, I didn't have to shield this, and that's the mistake I made. But we don't want to die with a bunch of shields or save our shields to where we have no health, like we did against Primo in that previous match where we had barely any health and now we're shielding. So we could get to Earthquake, because Melmetal takes super effective damage from Earthquake, but look at how much damage Hydro Cannon does. So keep that in mind when you're facing a Melmetal, is that you don't have to go all the way up to Earthquake if they're at 60%. I think he was around 60% health there, and we're 50, and we're just able to down him with Hydro Cannon. It's so strong, and that's what makes Swampert such a good mud boy for this cup. But now me and Styx, we have a Swampert on Swampert crime. I don't want to take the Hydro Cannon, and I do elect to take the second Hydro Cannon, because I burned both his shields, and I'm thinking maybe I can, take this shield advantage into the rest of the match. Oh no, he doesn't burn both his shields. Oops, my bad. So yeah, he does what I just said. Oops, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But yeah, he switches in, and he's able to just, pretty much neutralize our Swampert. I bring him Glade, and that was a dumb call. We don't do well against the Torterra. You can see its Razor Leaf just gets us down. We don't really have any great move that we can get to before we die. We have a Leaf Blade, which isn't going to do that much damage to it, but we do burn his last shield, and yeah, I should have switched to Magnet Zone. I got flustered, you know. He caught me slipping. Yeah, sometimes you get caught slipping. He earthquakes us, and yeah, he totally destroys me. The champ versus Swampert here, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get to Power Up Punch Town. This is gonna be a really close battle to end our best of 3 that we did, and yeah, he's gonna tank that first one. We elect to shield the Hydro Cannon because that thing hurts. It just hurts so bad. After that, we switch into our Torterra, and you know, we lucky enough to down him before he's able to switch. But then, this is what I'm talking about. If they catch you switching into a Torterra, so I'm saying maybe if you bring it on your line, maybe lead with it, and then try to have something to take down their Skarmory if they switch into their Skarmory on the lead. Like, you know, switch their lead Pokemon out for a Skarmory. So you really got to be careful with switching into a Torterra, because then this happens. Then you have Sky Attack. It's just like Sky Attack, and it's just, you got to be careful. But he is great. Like I said, you can see him just like down Mud Boys and get that threat off the board. But then you also allow Skarmory to become a huge threat. Here he brings in his Torterra now, trying to, you know, Razor Leaf me to pieces at the very end. So we switch over to our Medicham real quick. We're gonna try to Power Up Punch him down. Oh no, we just counter him down and save our charge moves for the Skarmory coming back in. We should have almost 2 ready to go, maybe 2 ready to go. Yeah, almost 2. So then we get to the second one, and yeah, we're just over here doing neutral damage to it and hoping that we don't give it enough. Oh, he does go ahead and use his Sky Attack, so we get lucky there. He's trying to beat me to Power Up Punch, so that kind of saved the match for me there, because then he could have just sent that off against my Swampert. So yeah, that's I just think it's going to be, you know, a tough meta. Alright, so there we go. There's a little bit of Swampert and Torterra action in the Boulder Cup. I think it's going to be, like I said, a very tough meta. It's probably going to end up being a lot of Skarmory, Medicham, and Swampert lines, because they're all 3 such dominant Pokemon. They're just so good. Oh my goodness. But thank you for watching. If you're new, I hope that you decide to subscribe. If you have any video ideas you want me to see, since there's so much to cover, please let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I just want to say thank you, and then I hope you have a nice day. Yeah, be easy, breezy, beautiful. Peace out, Bellsprouts. Bye.